Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good night, good day, good afternoon, and grand rising to each and every one of you boobs on this third rock from the sun, Terra, or as I like to call it, not anymore now. This is a rough earth of school, but it's Earth Azkaban cleaned up. How y'all doing? I'm Missy K. Clark McGinnis, your intrepid host of dun, 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 dun. New podcast name is the same as the old, A Ghost Girls Podcast. I was originally going to change it to something, maybe to reflect my own name, maybe to reflect me, nope. Go always with your first idea, and the first idea was this one, A Ghost Girls Podcast. So it stays. Welcome to A Ghost Girls Podcast. I'm your intrepid host, like I said before, just moments ago, Missy K. Clark McGinnis. Let's jump on in the show, shall we? We shall. I'm reading something here called by Alan Watts, and interesting, a topic came up about free will, and this was what popped up in my feed, and the cosmos is never, ever, ever wrong. So this is for you, the particular individual asking about free will. And I couldn't explain it the way I wanted to explain it, but free will, in my opinion, is sort of like, and I'm only making a metaphor here, it's a double-edged sword. From the question, and a lot of you listening to this, I mean, you might be brand new, you might be haven't listened to me for a few minutes, great, either way. Ladies and gentlemen, free will is a double-edged sword. I remember when I was a kid, and that's why I'm putting this podcast, because obviously I can talk faster than I can write. I read this book called Virgins by, in the mid-1980s, by an author named Carol Alt, A-L-T. And she had a character, there was characters in there that were really devotees to the Catholic school, Catholic church, all things Catholic, sun up, sundown, and nighttime weekends, nights and weekends, 24/7, 31 days Catholic, okay? Soup to nuts, everything, more Catholic than even the nuns, all right? The gentleman asked a very good question. Can God create a rock too heavy even for him to lift? Therein is, yep. And with Alan Watts, he never philosophized. He just got very clear, just brand new clarity, like looking at a tree through a newly cleaned Windex window. You can see the tree, you can barely see the window. That's how, from obstacle-free, you and the answer is. Okay? Back to free will. Free will is like a cut double-edged sword. You don't get a chance to control, or not control is wrong choice words. You get no say in the individual's life. That individual can live his or her life as retardedly and as crookedly and as swimmingly as he or she wants to. That's free will. And you just got to sit back and watch. You got to sit back and just say, you're doing something. Don't. Okay. All right. Or the free will is, if you're on the right path, the cosmos will cheer you on. If you're on the wrong path, the cosmos will do everything it can in its power to get you back on that path. Put another way, you're acting like a jerk, you're going to get a spanking. You're acting like you need to be coronated, you will be coronated. In other words, the cosmos will give you what you put out. And the answer to the rock question, no. God can't make a rock too big. He cannot lift it. And I'm using the term he generically as a catch-all, not because I'm Gen X. I came up with definitive masculine, she, her, woman, girl, female, to the masculine, male, him, his, male, man, boy, dude. You got the idea, right? So, that said, when I use the term he, it is a generic for both masculine and feminine. If I want to be feminine, I will show the feminine, but in general, I'm doing both masculine and feminine. Yes, God is both. And God is both feminine and masculine, as well as Mother of God, feminine and masculine. Now that said, getting back to the rock and God being it being too heavy for it to lift, no. Why? Because the rock becomes the creator. And also, if you think about it, if you really, really think about it, you ever notice how silver and gold is 0.9999999999999999995 pure? Because isness gets the other 0.0000000000000000000000005% of that purity. Otherwise, the gold and the silver becomes the God, and isness is no more. And isness ain't having that. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, that's from how I understand free will. And I've come to appreciate it. That's what I've come to know about it. And I don't think I'm wrong. I don't believe I'm wrong. Because I read a lot, I listen a lot, I'm taking in a lot. Like Lee's always said, I allow myself to receive, and release all these energies that are not mine. I was going to paraphrase, but you get the idea. I remember when I was singing it in my mind. Yeah, but I allow myself to receive. I receive what's mine and burn the fuck off, excuse the language, but it's true, of what's not. It's as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. It really is as simple as that. And the powers that had been regarding free will want you get all tangled up in it because they want you tangled up. Ever think about that? No. You got to figure out how to keep your own skids greased so that whenever these snags of the dark that are like burrs in them, like sand burrs in deserts, try to take a sand burr out of your hair. Good luck with that. No, you're cutting that shit out. You are cutting that shit out, or you're getting a haircut, or you're getting it all shaved off. And don't get vain about it. Oh, I don't want my hair anymore. Oh my God, I don't want my hair anymore. No. Which one to do? Sit there hours on end of pulling out burrs that are going to pull our hair by the roots, or you just cut the shit all off and let it grow back without sand burr free? You ever try to take sand burrs out of a dog's tail? Oh Lord, or the foxtails out of dog's ears. Yeah, that, kids, that. And it's a pain. Or even worse, your kid gets hit with lice. Okay, lice, they're nasty in black hair. You can't see them in black hair. Try seeing the nits in white hair like mine. That's why you get the lice shampoo. Because nobody can see those teeny things that are making you itch. Exactly. And back in the day, that's what they were called. Cooties. Like bed bugs. You wonder where a cootie came from? Bed bugs and lice, children. Yeah. Bed bugs and lice. And lice blown up. Ooh, yeah. They got 8 legs. Boom, 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 boom. And looking like ticks. And no. They're not bloodsuckers. Praise God for that. And I mean by isness, God, not and isness. Which, by the way, when I say isness, ISTHNESS, you can spell she and he out of isness. That's why I say God is both masculine and feminine. Yeah, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but again, free will, getting back to that, isn't just cut and dried, like Carmen had just said. Carmen, I'm probably saying your name wrong, sweetheart. But Yeah, you, the regular, Stanton. I know your name, but I'm like brain farting on the full. Yeah, you know who you are. Anyhow, when you answered how free will is not that cut and dried, yes. It's a lot of gray area, but a lot of connected gray area regarding free will. But mainly from the Alan Watts point of view, and I'll end the video here on that because I don't want to get too long. That's what he pretty much said about free will, that it's interconnected. It's like, in my view, you're a kaleidoscope, and God isness wants you to be multicolored with the sepia, with the black and white, with the rainbows. You, I don't think I like the way that looks. I'm not going to do that. So you decide you're going to have your kaleidoscope being sepia, and all things all-tone sepia, from deep, 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 deep brown to just a spit of brown in that white. That's barely got a tip of brown in it that's not completely white, but your eyes can see that the slightest of differences. That is not only isness, but that's free will. And you're going to tell isness, okay, and isness is like, does she realize she's missing all the colors and this and that and the other? And the other side of isness is like, yeah, she'll eventually figure it out. And that's what free will is. Free will is like a beautiful block party you're not looking forward to the cleanup in, but you're going to be like delegating tasks to, okay, you do this and you do this and you do this and you do that and you do that, and keep me apprised in all the developments and stuff, and I'm going to go take a nap, okay? So, yeah, if that makes any sense to you, let me go ahead and read this Alan Watts thing, and I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Alan Watts on the illusion of the ego and true freedom. Alan Watts, excuse me for a little moment while I drink a little bit of water, because I'm going to do some reading, and which is testament to my current mouth status right now. I'll be right back. Ooh, I needed some water. Okay, Alan Watts, 1915 and 1973, was a British-born philosopher, writer, speaker, and self-described philosophical entertainer who became one of the most prophetic voices in the 20th century. Raised in England with an early fascination for Eastern wisdom, sparked by missionary artifacts and his teenage involvement with the London Buddhist Lodge, he published his first Zen booklet at age 18. Trained and ordained as an Episcopal priest, he eventually left institutional religion to pursue a deeper path. Through more than 25 books, hundreds of lectures, and widely popular radio broadcasts, Watts mastered the rare art of translating ancient Egypt insights, Zen, Buddhism, Taoism, Advaita, I guess I'm saying that wrong, Vedanta, I don't have my glasses on either, and the perennial philosophy in the clear, poetic, and deeply liberating language for us Western minds. He never claimed a special revelation, channeling, or guru status. His source was rigorous scholarly study of sacred texts combined with direct personal contemplation and insight, a lifetime of looking clearly at the nature of reality itself. Let me pause here briefly. This guy, in my opinion, combined academia and his loving of all things books and science and learning and scholarly and academia like me with the esoterical, with the esoterics, with the ethereal, with the Zen and the nebulous, and made it in the clear, concise, walkable shirt sleeve, as the late Paul Harvey would say, English. I love him for that, and I'm shocked I don't have him in my own library. Continuing on. This made him a prophetic author, and poet of awakening, able to expose the deepest lie of this control matrix with unmatched clarity. He didn't just philosophize. He dismantled the illusion with razor-sharp clarity and playful precision, showing that the ego is the primary internal control mechanism keeping humanity enslaved to fear, lack, and endless seeking. Here's some of his most powerful teachings that directly support that awakening of your sovereign core. Sovereign, capital S, core, capital C. The ego is a social fiction. Quote, "You're not a separate, isolated ego. You are the whole universe, expressing itself through this particular body-mind for a little while. The feeling of being a separate me is a hallucination, a very useful one for practical purposes, but still a hallucination nevertheless." The game of life. Quote, "Life is not a journey to a destination, it's a dance. The ego wants to arrive, to achieve, to become something. But the real you, your sacred you, the sacred everything about you," paraphrasing mine, "is already the entire dance. You are not going anywhere. You're the music. How can you go anywhere?" Quote, "True freedom is waking up from the dream of separation. The only real freedom is to stop pretending you're a separate self that needs to be saved, improved, or protected. When you see through the ego, the matrix loses its power over you because there is no one left to control." Unquote. Quote, "The myth of this isolated self. Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. The harder you hold on to me," unquote, in single quotes, "the more you suffer. True freedom begins the moment you relax into the realization that you're not a thing at all. You're the whole field of awareness in which everything appears." Unquote. Quote, and I'll do the close quote at the close of this. "The secret of life. This is the real secret of life. To be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and the now. And instead of calling it work, realize that it's play. The ego turns life into work. Awakening turns it back into play. You are the universe. You are an aperture through which the universe is becoming aware of itself. When you truly see this, the need for external validation, control, compliance, consenting, conforming, or comply, adding on by me, salvation dissolves. You are already that. Capitalized THAT. Practical tool, the ego dissolution. Reminder, the ego dissolution reminder. Whenever the mind begins running into the familiar, quote, capital C control, capital M matrix script, "I am not enough, I must protect myself, or something's missing," pause, breathe, take one conscious breath into your heart, and silently or aloud repeat one of Alan's most liberating pointers. "I'm the whole show. I am the whole show. The universe is happening through me right now." Say it slowly. Let the words drop from your mind into your body. Feel them resonate into your chest and belly. Watch the tight, contracted sense of a separated self begin to soften and dissolve, revealing the effortless presence that was always here. Alan Watts never asked for belief or blind faith. He simply pointed with crystal clarity and invited you to see the truth directly for yourself. You are not the ego. You never were. Welcome home. Unquote. Yeah, and he's not wrong. And these words that I just read to you guys that had effortless, ESS, another word, let me find it. Let me find another word. Let me find it. Yeah. Effortless, awareness, faithfulness, faithlessness, forgiveness. You can't spell any of those words with not only with even the brew I cannot stand, Guinness. Can't spell any of those words without the ESS in isness. And when you realize that isness is in everything, even in you, that's what Christ was saying in the Bible. That he is God and God is Jesus. Jesus is God and God is Jesus. And of course, the establishment back in the day, all that ego, that's why they put a ban on the tree. There you go. Now, does that go against what Watts just said? Yes and no. But at the same time, I don't think isness threw Alan Watts out of heaven, do you? Nope. So with that said, I'll get out of here. This was a short video just to answer the question of free will. And I didn't want to make it longer than it needs to be. So I'm going to scoot. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Be good. Be nice. If you can't, do your best and name her after me. Love you. And be good, okay? Little housekeeping things. ghosttalk@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.